This is an introduction to Galaxy Starborn. You might be familiar with his design from the first video I put up for D&Details, but if not, that's not a problem at all. Galaxy was born within the Underdark into a Wood Elf mother and a Dark Elf father. I then later on expanded and went into more of his family tree. From the House of Drax, which is his Underdark family, his full sister versus the half sisters from the House of Drax, Skylit, who actually left to the surface world with their mother before Earth Galaxy he got separated while hunting in the Underdark with his father. There's not too much to introduce here, but I hope this is the first of my 4 main character introductions to the If series. The If series is really about what happens when I pull together the 4 or so characters I made specifically for a D&D game and put them together into their own party. Now, I never actually got to play Galaxy the way I had hoped to. I did play him in a one-shot sometime later, or just to see how he played, how he felt. He's definitely developed into more of a Indiana Jones type character, or more on the definitely the whip focus. I went with a rogue monk for his build. High dexterity builds seem to be a reoccurring theme for me, and so I'm leaning into those and taking inspirations from other things. But that is a short introduction to Galaxy Starborn. Oh, and I even made an accent for him. This is my really awful, awful accent for Galaxy. It's actually based off of a specific inflection found in the Japanese language. It's kind of a R and L sound combined. The reason I made that inflection and the basis of Galaxy's accent is because I was actually studying Japanese at the time. I took a college class and everything, which I failed. But I still learned a little bit, and I enjoyed learning about languages, so that was fun. So hopefully I'll have a proper introduction, kind of how Critical Role did their Vox Machina into introductions during Campaign 1 for one Galaxy Starborn. Welcome back to If. This time we're talking about Eclipse, or just fours. Fours for the fact that she has 4 properly functioning arms. 2 left and 2 right arms. Now, fours is my spin-off of the horny bard trope because she literally has horns. No, I'm not kidding. I just really hate the horny bard. Bleh. I really hate the horny bard trope, so I just did a thing with the idea of it and gave her literal horns, so she's a tiefling. God, I really hate that joke. It's annoying as hell. Anyway, so Eclipse, the 4-armed tiefling, is actually a dancer rather than a wordsmith. If she can play many instruments and has arcane knowledge and all, but words were never really her strong suit. And that's simply a reflection of me, where I'm not terribly amazing with words, and sometimes I have a hard time coming up with on-the-fly comebacks or anything. So instead, I leaned into the performance skill for her. As my first bard, I wanted to have my own spin. I kept thinking of it, took it literally, and made her a dancer. Decided, what if she was just like a fire sword dancer for a traveling troupe? So, going out from that point, I built fours and Eclipse up as that, and then I was assigned as the game's lore keeper at the time, And so I incorporated that into her character, making her actually part of some type of lore keeper organization. She's definitely the chaotic neutral bird, but rather than going the horny route with it, I went the insatiable curiosity and learn everything route. She's the one who's going to push for the knowledge, whether it's something that should or should not be known. And that's Eclipse. Oh, snap. Oops. 3, 2, 1. Cut after the snap. Hey, welcome to If. Today we're talking about Etch. Etch is kind of a newer detective meets Victorian gentleman, at least in pure visual form, and is a completely blank slate to work off of. I actually made him for the new 2024 rules when they a little bit before they came out, but I never actually put them together, not properly. I was playing with the idea of how the D&D monks would work, and I thought I might want to play one. But I also fancy myself a bit of a swordsman, so Etch became a sword monk. I gave him a long sword and just decided that he would probably use his dexterity for it, and as a sword monk, it'd be a little bit more dance-like, which pairs up well with other characters who have similar abilities. But Etch is a kind of blank slate, mostly androgynous red-skinned tiefling with white hair. His wider family is a gnome mother and a unknown devil father. It's very likely that Etch has some form of siblings or other kin spread across the world that he's never met. But Etch is Etch. Not too much to him. Sort of a blank slate to work with, so hopefully he'll develop into a more properly full-fledged character for the future. But that's Etch. Thanks for hearing him out. Today we're talking about Dust. Dust is my changeling rogue, and rogue became one of my go-to classes pretty easily. But the thing is, I was playing the same rogue across multiple games just to get a feel for him. Eventually, I looked into changing lore, how they had personas, developed that, leaned into that a little bit, and have 3 main personas. But then I came up with my own ideas. Dust became a soul knife after being an arcane trickster for a while. Well, I decided the soul knife was the better route, especially given that I wanted to play into an idea I had. I had Dust come in contact with the Abyss as part of his backstory, and that did more to his personas, making them more in-depth and independent entities. At first, I did it a bit like a split personality. Didn't work out. Didn't feel right. But I do want to do more with the independent minds and within Dust. Dust is a changeling rogue, street urchin, running around, handling things. He also knows how to make maps. That's one of the main ways he learned to support himself. Oh gosh, I'm getting a little rambly here. I'm gonna let this one go, and that is Dust.